Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. I speak English. Season 7, Episode 9. Gemini, or Gemini, if you say it right. Um, eh. This episode's fine. As a mid-season premiere, as it would have been, this aired in December. Okay, but Blue was obviously the mid-season finale. And then it was a whole, okay, so that's weird. Everything in Blue set it up as the mid-season finale, including the ending, which I forgot to mention. You know, with Kara being in Michigan, and then Jor-El decides to punish Clark for not listening to him and freezes him in ice. And as we start this episode, it's Christmas, which I didn't think about. He's been missing for 2 weeks, but it's about 2 weeks. So about a month actually, if you think about it. November 15th is when Blue aired. December 13th is when this aired. So it's about a month actually between the air dates, but yeah, that's weird. They wanted a Christmas episode, and then they didn't air another one for over a month, and then they just were steady until. And there was the strike was coming. Yeah, so strike was on. So maybe they had to stretch. I don't know. Feels like maybe they should have switched these, where this was aired first, and then this one, and if they were jumping, they could have aired this like the beginning of December, and then this. I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, Clark was in ice. Now he's been missing for 2 weeks. People wondering where he is, and most importantly, Lois's satellite dish is not working. She gets snow. So call your satellite provider. Why does Clark need to fix that? Anyway, it is Christmas. Very apparent from the Christmas music playing throughout the episode at the beginning of this. And I'm full. I would hate to be like Chloe and Yimmy in this. They're just stuck in the elevator with Christmas music. I would activate the bomb myself. I would find a way. But yeah. So Lois isn't. So after so Lex has said for Grant to not date Lois because she doesn't want Lois finding out the secrets about them. And every single story she has pitched about Lex, has been nixed by Grant. Now all of a sudden, she is doing this whole story on Lex. Which we find out later is an interview. And when you really think about it, it's like, oh, well, it's just like, it's whatever he wants it to be, not really an expose, but yeah, and she gets a phone call from a strange cell phone in her desk from a guy who's revealed to be named Adrian Cross. He's played by Tim Guinea, who was in Iron Man 1 and 2. And I actually would have pitched the character he played in that movie. And it would have worked with the story they were telling too. He was playing United States Air Force Major Allen in those first 2 movies. But it would have been something. He disappeared. But I always thought it would be cool. And I know he's not a big star or anything, but he was, if he turned out to be Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, which they're doing the other version, but if you don't know the original version of Simon Williams, he worked for Hydra, and he got powers from Hydra. So, yeah. So what if he was secretly working for Hydra and got powers in, say, Civil War and became Power Man, but ended up turning... Or Civil War. I meant to say Winter Soldier. Like... maybe Robert Redford is like, oh, I don't know. And that's where he got the powers, is he injects himself, and at some point he could be Simon Williams, but no, he's just that. Because I liked him. He's 63 now, but he was a good Canadian actor. He was also on Stargate SG-1, right? No, that was just my idea back then. Whatever. But they put him in some ridiculous old man makeup. I'm like, that looks so fake. No. But he says there's a bomb on Chloe, which is not 100% true because you find out it's in her purse. It's not on her, but whatever. And threatens to detonate the bomb if Lois does not get Lex to admit that he is cloning humans. Yep, see, I hinted at it in the last review. I didn't outright go and say it, but cloning, which kind of makes you put Grant in perspective if you think about it. Yeah. So, meanwhile, Clark returns and immediately goes to Lana, who, she says she's going to stop going after Lex. And he goes, actually, I want to go after Lex. And they find the doctor lady from the previous episode that got infected by the black goo. Her name is Casey Brock, and it is Alicia Levesque, whatever, from Stargate Universe, and ready or not, it is her. She was also Guinevere. I forgot about this. Guinevere in Legends of Tomorrow, season 2, I think, when they go back to the medieval. Yeah. Though I want to tell you that going back in time to that era, you would not meet Guinevere or King Arthur, Merlin, Galahad, Lancelot, none of them. Because that they didn't exist. There were stories. But there was a period of swords and knights in England, I guess. Or if you watch SG-1, another planet. Yeah. And so they want to find this thing because it could be dangerous. It is. Lana has her in a secret hospital room bunker at the Iris Foundation. Okay. Where she's been hiding in this secret room. He's been monitoring her. She's been monitoring her. Excuse me. Lois tries to warn Chloe. She puts a manila folder and a warning on it. The old lady takes forever to get to her, and then Chloe's on her way out. And okay, so this just pisses me off. So I get why it has to happen with the context of the episode, but I don't believe Adrian would have enough gumption to know. I just don't. It just makes sense for the character. So there's a couple of times in the episode that makes me scratch my head that it has to happen for the plot to go where it needs to go. And, the writing is really getting to me now. Because, he says, if you try to tell anyone, I will detonate the bomb. So, then she freaks out on this one guy thinking he's Adrian. He's not. He's like, well, I'm going to call the cops. And he leaves. She thinks, oh, okay, this could be good. He comes back in and has been stabbed in the back. How did he even know? How? It's all too quick for it to. He had to have been watching through a window somewhere, and why wouldn't she see him? I also like how she redials the last number that he used, but doesn't look at the phone to see what it says. She just redials, because it's like his office thing. I think he would say work or something, right? She's just like, and it goes back to his office. She's like, oh crap. Why didn't you look at it before you pushed the call it? Now, she could have star 69, but in the world of caller ID, you don't need to do that. Unless there's just a number, which why would he have his work number unlisted? You know? I can see if he was talking on a landline. In an office that you don't usually have the caller ID. So she just goes *69, then it calls. But no, it just no. So then I think someone calls her again and says, "Don't try anything," and that's when she gives that message to her. And then she and Jimmy, after kind of contemplating whether or not to both go in the elevator, they go in the elevator, and then the elevator shuts down. And I went, "No bullshit." Okay, what is the point of keeping them in the elevator? The whole point is he wants to blow her up, right? Now, he would have no fucking idea that she warned her, because it was her mail. He didn't see that. There's no way he saw that. So the only way he would keep her in there is if he wants the explosion to happen there. But it doesn't need to happen there. It could happen anywhere, as long as, But, see, from this point, she got the message out. From a writing standpoint, I can see this. Oh, if she give her the message and she tries to leave, she leaves, she gets rid of it, there's no danger. So she has to be stuck somewhere. Sure. I just feel like it's too much. You have to write it this way so it goes the way you want it to in the plot. And this leads to them talking and getting closer to each other as the bomb is going to go off. And she admits that she's a media freak, and they kiss, right? Meanwhile, then everything goes wackadoo, because Lois has she has this very obvious fake brooch thingy that would be called, because she never wears it, to do her interview with Lex, because it's a camera that Adrian is watching. I'm trying so hard not to call him Toman. That Adrian is watching through and is puppeteering her to say things. He tells her to mention Project Gemini, to which she asks like he has no idea what it is. She then starts to spill the beans about the clones, and pulls out a gun, at Adrian's request, of course, and starts rattling off some things about Adrian's past that kind of confuse Grant. So Lex knocks her out. This is Lois knockout number 325. She's been knocked out almost as much as Lana, and she's been here shorter than Lana has been. She's been here only for 3 seasons. 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 seasons now, almost 4 seasons. Lana's been here all 7, and I feel like Lois has been knocked out just as much. In 4 seasons. 3.5 at this point. She's like, obviously someone was puppeteering her. Then Tolman they did it again. Adrian shows up and admits that he's a clone of Julian, and that Grant is a successful clone. And then Grant gets all pissed. He's like, "What? I was made to because you missed your brother?" Yeah, there's a whole fake life drawn up. He was adopted, and he was putting this and that, and yeah. But Clark shows up and saves the day. Come in, I can't find Chloe, and he realizes that that's something's wrong with the elevator, and he breaks through. He takes the bomb away. It explodes, and then Adrian dies, or he shoots Adrian. Lex shoots Adrian. He doesn't say that in here. He shoots Adrian, and then Chloe reveals her powers to. I'm gonna order here, but I'm just gonna say it. Chloe reveals her powers to Yimi. She can heal. She heals his bubble, his cut, which I briefly mentioned. yeah, she heals his cut, and then she gets it for herself. And then Grant threatens Lex and said, "You know what? You can control a lot of things, but you can't control one thing: free will. I can do what I want." And he leaves. He's done with this, and he breaks up with Lois. But it turns out that Lex now owns the Daily Planet. I was already under the impression that he did already. I guess not. I thought he purchased it back in season 6. He seemed like he was in more control here. I don't know. I guess that makes sense if she's trying to write a story. Why would she do it with it? He owns it now. And, yeah. We get another Clark and Lois scene, but this one, or Clark and Lana scene. This one actually goes somewhere, though. They have a conversation about how they're going to try to keep the relationship going. They hug. I don't know if they kiss, but they hug. And then Clark's face fluctuates, which, in the context of the scene, makes no sense because it's only supposed to do that when the sun hits it. It only does it here so you can know that it's not Clark, that it's Bizarro. But there's no sun. They're in the middle of a barn with no... Or the barn, the house, I don't know, there's no sun. But somehow he still fluctuates. And it cuts back to the fortress, showing that Clark is still trapped in the ice. Okay, so it doesn't take as long, but I guess it does because this is over a month. But this is how the episode ends. I will give it a 3 out of 5. It was fine. It was fine, not as good as the last couple, but still fine. Yeah. But yeah, we are now in the second half of the season. It's always weird how half a season, and this is episode 9. Really, we're not in the second half, but airing-wise, well, we're going to be. January 31st, the second half. So we have 11 episodes left. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. To go to. So, and I'm planning on getting a whole disc here. So this is episode 1 in a disc, right? 3 more. Persona, Siren, Fracture. And then I'll do more tomorrow. But yeah. And that's what I think about that. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm a Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.